Здравствуйте, товарищи. Здравствуйте. How's it going, comrades? We are gonna be looking at the Libyan Civil War now. Retarded Russian accents aside, yeah. We're back with Red World, and oh yeah, pretty much they're gone. Okay. Now we're gonna pushing our troops back further east throughout this gigantic mess that is Libya right now. Now, where's the actual front line? This is gonna help us actually notice. Wait, Free Army of Libya is a puppet of the Free Arm. No, the Free Army of North Africa is a puppet of the Free Army of Libya. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna need to take this land for ourselves. Okay, that's the gist of that. I didn't really know what it was, what was going on there, because apparently, like I guess this is the tag is the Libya tag, the Gaddafi government. It became the Free Army of Northern Africa under the puppet ship, yes, the puppet ship of Free Army of Libya, after the Free Army of Libya defeated the Gaddafi government. Okay, I guess that's what happened. I really don't know. We're gonna go for Sirte. Wait, what? Oh, they're not in Sirte. Okay, they're up there. Okay, so now we can do the final part of the economic reforms, which is the Chinese economy. Just a few years ago, the government of China announced it would be opening some sectors of the economy. This could possibly lead to a semi-free market. Now, I don't think that in the Red World lore, I guess you could say, Deng Xiaoping sort of went forward the program of complete opening of the Chinese economy to, well, in our timeline, it would be Western influences and Western investments. I guess in this timeline, it would be Soviet. I don't know. Still, so China didn't really have its major boom, but it seems to be at least a little bit more open than the Maoist economy. So overall, I don't know. It seems like we're just trying to emulate that, although with no Western countries to invest in, our economy, I don't really see what the point of this would be. But still, it is the one that provides us the best bonuses, so, that's pretty okay. I guess you could say it's like the USSR. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the USSR, the European Union, which comprises, whoa, Comrade General Jaruzelski. Yeah, the European Union comprises from the French Socialist State all the way to Poland and Romania, all the Soviet-aligned European countries, and of course in the upcoming German Democratic Republic focus tree, which right now doesn't exist, this is just a standard one. I think that is going to be like the counterbalance to the USSR in Europe. It can, well, it has the potential to be really, really interesting, but for now it's just a bit of a modifier that you get if you're a member of the USSR. Yes, I'm just gonna call it the USSR, fuck you. Actually, Albania is part of that too, right? Yep, Albania is part of that too. And yeah, so what happens is, I guess, economic investment from them might be happening in the Soviet Union. I don't know, that sounds like what it could be happening. I don't know, it's really weird. Yeah, France also has a generic focus stream. Okay, so we're just advancing right now in Libya, and we're gonna have to go for Ajdabiya down here, which is the capital of the Islamic State. For some reason, even though Benghazi, which is a much bigger city than Ajdabiya, also is controlled by them. I don't know, very, very weird. And also the event said, oh look, it's the Benghazi Islamists that are revolting, or something like that. So of course we're going to be able to easily smash on through and go for Ajdabiya in a great repeat of the successes of the Africa Corps. I don't know, retarded. Retarded Nazis would say. Sorry. I know fucking JRDN is going to be like, oh my god. JRDN is a viewer of mine. Yeah, okay. So, of course, the militias, the Islamist militias, don't really stand a chance against the might of the Soviet Union. And so we're going to be able to easily come in with our superior army and smash them up. Okay, move in. They are out of supply, which of course gives them a terrible penalty. And we can I think, smash both of these divisions, also with the support of the 4th Red Army, even though it's a battalion. We're going to be able to easily smash them up like that. And now you can move east again. Okay, go for Benghazi. Shouldn't be too much of a difficult time. Good. Huh, I bet America wishes it was this easy to unite Libya. And Italy would definitely wish that too, since we're involved. In case you don't know, I'm Italian. We're really seriously involved in this mess. Because our government's just got support. Blah, blah, blah. Nonsense. And oh, we got cut off. But oh well, doesn't matter. There's ports out here, so we're not going to have much problems. And oh, there's a Free Army of Libya infantry brigade. It's a little bit stranded. Yeah, as you can see, the Free Army of Libya is the one that used to be the Gaddafi regime. And now they're gone. So we're just going to be using our airborne to clean up the rest of their troops. Like that. Oh no, William and Kate. That's so important. The world order is literally collapsing, and the Brits think about world marriages. What has changed? Come on. Yep. Fight them. Destroy them. Okay, so we have reunited our 2 strands of territory, and now we're going to use our tanks to persecute these last remaining reactionary insurgents. Push them outside of the borders of the modern Libyan state. Okay. Very good. Of course, we're just trying to isolate them into pockets as much as possible because their army lacks mobility. It's just a bunch of rando militias. You're gonna come back around and take back Ajdabiya, which was recaptured by the enemy. Looks like our airborne is in trouble. Our VDV, Воздушные десантные войска, airborne landing troops. Okay, they're back there, and we got the Chinese economy. Great. Now, we could either go with the economic branch of the focus tree, but we're gonna do that later. First, we're gonna finish off the political part for Rutskoy. So while promising economic reform, Rutskoy has never advocated for political reform of the Soviet Union, which has kept them from arrest or exile. In national unity plus 3%, and so of course we're going to be consolidating our grip over the internal politics of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, because of course we're a single party state, so most of the political life happens within the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. I mean, there are other parties like the National Revolutionaries. For some fucking reason, this one union is headed by Natalia Pokolonskaya, and if you don't know who that is, then that's good, because she's a meme. And then there's the Democratic Front, headed by Lukin, actually. So, Liberal Democratic, indeed. And People's Party, I mean, this is very, very small. And then the other, I guess you could say, semi-big one is the Revolutionary faction, headed by Ivan Milnikov. Actually, I don't know who that is. Let's quickly look him up. Let's actually put the clock on, so that at least it's not entirely terrible. Ivan Melnikov. Vice Chairman of the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. Oh, okay. Professor at Moscow State University. Interesting. He's pretty old. Okay. I understand who he is now. So I guess in real life he's just Zyuganov's right-hand man. Zyuganov is the conservative candidate that you remember, or should remember, from the election. He's the real-life leader of the KPRF, the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. Of course, the other ones, I mean, you should know who they are. Rutskoy is the guy we were talking about. Gorbachev, you should probably know who Gorbachev is. The last, well, not last, I guess Yeltsin was the last. No, Yeltsin wasn't entirely the head of state. No, okay, so he was really the last leader of the Soviet Union officially, the last head of state. And Yeltsin was just the first one for Russia. Always confusing there in those years of 1989 to 1993. What was going on with Russia? So it was very, very strange. Very chaotic. Very, very unpleasant. And then, of course, Vladimir Putin, you know, the current leader of Russia. And now, Wadan. Are you Islamic State? Yes, you are Islamic State. The Islamic State, of course. Where's my motorized? Right, they're here. Well, they can destroy this guy. This militia. And yeah, right now Libya is just a gigantic mess. We're trying to fix it. Okay, so as you can see, the Communist Party has been put into power in the Islamic State of Libya. They still have the black flag with the, you know, Allahu Akbar scribblings. I don't exactly remember what all that is. But it's some, like, Islamic religious, you know, prayer, I guess you could say, if I recall correctly. And now we're just basically in control of all of Libya. Kind of. You're not a puppet, you're... Wait, hold the fort. The National... Where's the National Salvation Government? Oh, they're in southern Tripoli. So, okay, so southern Tripoli is a puppet of the Islamic State of Libya, which is communist, quote unquote, but it's not a puppet of the Revolutionary Army of Libya. And then the Free Army of Libya is still around, and then we're gonna have to finish them off. The problem is they're in literally the worst terrain, so we're gonna have to deal with that problem. And we can't really send our tanks down there now, can we? No, in fact, we shouldn't really send our normal troops as well, because it's just terrible terrain. And who are you? Are you the National South? I can't click on this state. It's supposed to be under the control of the Revolutionary Army of Libya. Oh, okay. This is the Free Army of Northern Libya, aka the puppet of the Free Army of Free Army of Northern Africa, which is the puppet of the Free Army of Libya. Jesus Christ. Way too realistic. Way too realistic for what is going on in the Middle East. Okay, so we overrun those guys. The paratroopers go for Al-Jauf. Or Al-Jauf. Al-Jauf. No. No, don't head there. Take Al-Wahat and finish this godforsaken war. Or I guess you could say Comrade Stalin-forsaken war. Okay, they're surrounded. You come down there. And you come back around and finish them off. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Rush B. Right now, we have finished all of these engineering and industrial techs that we wanted. I mean, I guess you could say encryption is also not bad, but we are going to go ahead and upgrade our armor. We have the T90 right now, and we can go for the T90 AM, T90 MS, and then of course the Armata, which is the most ridiculous and corny name imaginable, but it's really cool. Okay, now, there's an enemy troop there. It seems to be in pretty bad shape, but of course, it's just the airborne that we have there, so it's gonna be a slow, painful grind to get through them. Rutskoy's grip. Yes. The nationalist. Known for his nationalist views, Chairman Rutskoy could bring greatness to the Soviet Union. Yes, we're gonna make the Soviet Onion great again. And is there anywhere else that we need to take? I guess we didn't actually take the capital because otherwise it wouldn't, you know, tell us that there's Al-Wahat there with a star. That's capital. I don't know. Game. Yeah, there's a bunch of new states in Libya, which is why it's doing all this weird mumbo-jumbo with how it's working out. Well, we're just going to be taking as many provinces as possible. Make certain. Okay, good. Now it's under our control. So now we just need to come down or finish him off. Come on, can we overrun him in some way? He's out of supply. I mean, shouldn't be that hard. I still do not know where he's going though. So. And the 2011 English riots. Does anybody remember those? Apparently they're happening in this timeline as well. We're just gonna be doing the ring around the rosy, ring around the. I don't know if there's a Russian ring around the rosy. Is there a Russian ring around the rosy? I don't know. Okay, so now we need to come down here and take Kufa, or Kufra. Okay, and of course, I mean, United Kingdom's having its own issues. They're land forts. Jesus Christ. The world order is collapsing and you think about land forts, United Kingdom. You are just so very smart. Are you? Okay, of course, we can just try to jump down and take that. Kufra. Meantime, we're just building up divisions. The reason we're doing that is just to get trained men on the field, just in case like something big happens. But we're gonna be reorganizing our divisions very, very quickly, as quickly as possible. Right now, we don't really have a lot of army experience, but in our army side of the focus tree, we are gonna get a decent amount of army experience, at least enough to get some basic reforms going. Good. Kufra is ours, supposedly. And the Free Army of Libya should be capitulating eventually, thus uniting Libya. Yes, there we are. Good. So the civil war is kind of over. I mean, the remnants are still lying scattered above the ground of the Libyan sandbox. And the Revolutionary Army of Libya, thanks to us, kind of won, but at the same time, they're missing the main industrial centers. Actually, they do have... wait, no. So, hold on. Okay, this is the Free Army of Northern Africa, which is the puppet of the Free Army of Libya, which is the puppet of... Oh no, okay, which is an independent country. Okay, so yes. So, but it's headed by Hamami, and then the Revolutionary Army of Libya is also headed by Hamami and Glory of the State. Oh wow. Still, it's a mess. I wonder if there's an event to unite it. And famines in Ethiopia. I need to do something about that. Okay, so now we go forward. Go forward with Soviet nationalist or Eurasian nationalist? Now, I wonder. Eurasian. Now, Eurasianism is a really, really tricky beast, I guess you could say. It's a fringe/not. It's always weird with Russia, you never truly know. It's a fringe/not, I guess, political... You could say movement, but you could also say outlook, I guess you could say. I don't know, it's just very, very strange, where you essentially have this movement that is promoting a multipolar world, right? What does that mean? Well, there's a lot of people that thought that with the end of the Cold War, there would be a unipolar world order, with the United States being the pole around which, of course, politics revolved worldwide, as opposed to the bipolar world of the Cold War era. Now, the Cold War wasn't really bipolar. I mean, it was China, India, they were all independent actors, and I guess you could say the Franco-German axis, the Franco-German alliance, and the European Union, the emerging European Union, at the time could be considered also a pole. So it was already kind of multipolar, but what these Eurasianists are pushing for is a multipolar world where essentially there's big regionally based, you could say, super blocks in a way. So you have, of course, the Asian pole, the China, the American one under the USA, and the Eurasian one, who they of course hope that Russia is going to be leading. because they essentially see this as like the only way to ensure Russian sovereignty. Because of course they see the NATO expansion in Eastern Europe, and of course the Baltics and the Caucasus with Georgia, Georgia joined NATO, etc. They see that as threatening to Russia, of course, and Russian sovereignty and Russian independence, etc. Blah 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 blah, and they want to ensure that that stays by creating a big Eurasian bloc that, in a way, you could say is represented in real politics by the Eurasian Economic Union, which is the project that Russia is moving forward right now. Well, it has been moving forward for a while, of an economic union between Kazakhstan, Russia, and Belarus. Of course, in this timeline, the whole Eurasian thing kind of makes a lot more sense, I guess you could say, because we're the Soviet Union, we're strong, blah blah blah. But at the same time, you could say that, like, okay, you could say that the Soviet nationalism that you can go for with Rutskoy, or that you can go for with Zyuganov, essentially just staying under the CPSU, the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, and then, of course, under Putin, and trying to, maintain the Union, and maintain the Union as a dominant force in Europe and Asia. I guess you could say that that is essentially the same as the Eurasian movement, effectively, like geopolitically, but whatever. So the Eurasian movement has fallen on hard times recently, with its leadership broken up outside of the Soviet Union and Chairman Yazov's repeated rejection of the values. However, with his successor's apparent arch-nationalism and unusual, unpredictable opinions, there has been a growth in support for Eurasianism. Interesting. Now, there's three, I guess, parties that end up being Eurasianists: the fascists, the nationalists, and the National Bolsheviks. So, the fascists are just like blah blah blah. The nationalists, yeah, the head of the nationalists is Vladimir Zhirinovsky. And in case you don't know this guy, you should probably look him up because he's absolutely insane. He's like one of those like larger than everything Russian politicians that, like, it just doesn't make any sense what comes out of their mouth, but it's just still a big pleasure actually listening to what they say because they're just insane. I mean, if you're a supporter of Zhirinovsky, I guess that's fine. He's just a nut. Because you could say he's like the Russian equivalent of like David Duke or something. But it's not like exactly that way, but yeah, he's just a huge nut, and he's pretty hilarious. The National Bolsheviks, I guess we can just explain them very quickly. They are supposedly trying to make a merger between far right and far left ideologies. Now, I know that sounds retarded, and well, it is, but yeah, so they also support a kind of, I guess you could say, Eurasian state. Yeah, they're not exactly Eurasianists, but they support a Eurasian state, so that's why they're lumped in with the other Eurasianists on the far right. Although the National Bolsheviks are more similar to like the far left, I guess you could say, Stalinists that exist around. They just like evil people. Overall, they like Stalin, and then they think that a lot of the nationalistic far right, movements that have happened around the world, I guess you could say that they agree with the nationalism part. So they think that in general, they just like the Soviet Union, they like Stalin, and then they're very confused after that. Because they also say that, of course, they're Russian nationalists, but then they just titter around everything. Actually did some research like before starting this on them, and I think that landed me in like 17 different FSB watch lists or something. So I hope that if you never see videos from me ever again, you know why. I've probably just been kidnapped by Russian intelligence. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at these three: improve Russian living conditions, crack down in the Baltics, reshuffle the Politburo. Now, of all these three, improving Russian living conditions is the one that makes the most sense for, I think, what Rutskoy is trying to go for. Improving the economy and all. So we should improve the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, which is this scary acronym, the living conditions to garner support for Rutskoy's vision and establish a more secure society. Which is going to give us quite a lot of nice bonuses. I mean, it's quite a lot of nice bonuses, but at the same time, it's like meh, you know? It's very small things, and it does increase our consumer goods factories, so I guess that's pretty bad. Then the other ones, I'm just gonna quickly explain them, and I'm gonna come back to you when I've finished, I guess, part of the political focus tree that I want to show you. Or rather, no, that I don't want to show you because it's boring. Okay, I'm gonna be moving up to Rutskoy's Coup, and I'm gonna finish Rutskoy's Coup because that's 210 days, and I'm gonna be skipping all of this. In the meantime, I'm just gonna be explaining what it is. Now, crackdown in the Baltics is like, because we are like supporting Eurasianism or whatever, the Baltics who want their independence still, of course, don't want that, because I mean it's already bad enough with the Soviet Union being, you know, I guess you could say Mala Eurasia, the small Eurasia, and then we want a Velikaya Eurasia, Great Eurasia, which of course includes like blah 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 everything. So their independence would be even more reduced under this project. So that's why they're supposedly hostile. So we're gonna have to crack down, because of course nobody likes the Baltics. In east of the Dvina, nobody likes the Baltics. And okay, getting that BTR 90. Thank you very much. So now we're getting some new vehicles, which is fine. We want our army to be as modernized as possible, because right now we are in a very, very secure position with the Warsaw Pact, but we've chosen a very potentially unstable route. So we might not have the Warsaw Pact forever. And yeah, then reshuffle the Politburo is essentially like, okay, so right now the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, of course, is the major political faction in the country. And within it, the Politburo is mostly dominated by the conservatives, even though, of course, we managed to get elected chairman. It's still like a very hostile, I guess you could say, political environment to us. So we want to, quote-unquote, reshuffle. Yeah, of course. There's been some reshufflings around. And we're going to kick some people out, get some of our buddies in, which of course is going to decrease National Union Division organization because, well, we're purging people around. Then long live Eurasia. Yeah, whatever. That's gonna be the Eurasia speech, which I'm gonna read when the event happens. We're just gonna be reading the events for these things and then letting the actual time pass without, you know, that showing, because it's gonna be boring as hell. Rutskoy's Coup is going to be the big one. We're going to have a coup in Moscow. Ironically enough, we're going to be the ones making the coup and arresting the Supreme Soviet, instead of Rutskoy being the one that's trying to defend the Supreme Soviet. I don't know, very, very strange. And then we're going to wake up, quote-unquote, wake up with the next video with, well, one of these three already chosen. So I guess you could say it's going to be a surprise, blah, blah, blah. Surprise, surprise. And in the meantime, of course, the rest of the world is going to be doing its own thing. I mean, let's say, oh no, Jeb Bush won the elections in America. So the Republican Party, just going to quickly explain what's happening in America, or... Nah, that's for another time. I'm going to end the video right now. I want to thank you all for watching. Actually, no. I'm going to be looking at the events, and then I'm going to end the video. So yeah. I'll see you soon when things happen. So here's the first event, Baltic Terror. Eurasianism's, that's pretty hard to say, rapid growth in support these recent months has caused great concern in the Baltic republics, where many still hold dear to the vision of independence. This value has been surely crushed by the prospect of a united Eurasia, a nation where no irrelevant Baltic populace has the need for a state. That sounds evil as hell. Not sure what that is supposed to mean. I don't know what that means in English. Despite this possible demoralization, Chairman Rutskoy has taken significant steps to destroy separatism in the region. region for many years to come by ordering a crackdown on all movements, especially in Lithuania and Estonia. What about Latvia? Poor Latvia. Never feels, you know, it never feels repaid for its existence. Resistance is futile. So now we're gonna go with the other one. Reshuffle the Politburo. See you then. I like the wording of this. It's very Soviet. Politburo develops Eurasian sympathies. Yes, it seems that the radicals advocating for a Eurasian state are beginning to infect the highest levels of government. Reports from KGB indicate that certain members of the Politburo are developing sympathy towards the Eurasian movement and its leaders, and could possibly advocate for it eventually. Surely this is just a fringe group and will do little to affect the chairman's leadership. Intriguing. I mean, literally, what it just said is that, like, we maybe not assassinated, but we imprisoned a bunch of people, and then put our friends in a Politburo. That's pretty Soviet. And of course, that's like the Eurasian flag. I guess you could say that. It's like, I do not know what it's supposed to mean, but it looks really, really weird and scary and intriguing. So I probably wouldn't want to live in a state with that flag. See you then. Oh, that was unexpected. So after securing a loyal national Shengo, might be the parliament. I think that's the parliament of Ethiopia. The recent Workers' Party convention. Yeah, it must be a government or a parliament. President Desalegn. Yeah, don't ask me how that is supposed to be pronounced. Has made it clear that his people that he will push for the full membership within the Warsaw Pact. While we currently only admit European nations as full members, with other socialist brothers remaining observer states, this could be the next great leap for our world order. The question remains, however, will Ethiopia be a blessing or a burden for a strong alliance? I guess you could say that we're still trying to maintain the face of being, you know, the established status quo of the Soviet power. So we are going to be saying it's a blessing. We are going to accept Ethiopia in the Warsaw Pact. Ethiopians observe eagerly on their television sets as the Soviet... Oh, Jesus Christ. And you have to be annoying with your research. Nobody cares about it. Yeah, as the Soviet Politburo debated their nation's possible membership in the Warsaw Pact. On one side, nationalists and self-proclaimed European communists stated that Ethiopia would be a burden on the strong alliance. On the other hand, friendlier and more welcoming Soviet politicians declared that the socialist world order would eventually collapse if it didn't allow other developing nations into its open arms. Eventually, after much debate, ferocious debate, holy shit, Alexander Rutskoy decided that Ethiopia should be admitted as a full member of the Warsaw Pact, effective immediately. Oh, now they are. They are. Yeah, now we need that extra light mechanized. And we're about to do the Long Live Eurasia. And that's gonna be the next event. Now, what's been going on in the world? Pretty much nothing, except, you know, Libya's still a mess. Oh, look at that Libyan desert. That's actually a state. It's got 0 population. But 16 oil, of course. Sounds about right. Who's harvesting that oil? I guess you could say that that represents that, you know, there's no actual population, but it's just, you know, migrant workers. Yeah, Libya has a ton of oil running around. In general, the whole world in Millennium Dawn, Red World, just has way too many resources, I think. Like, yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. Low oil prices, blah blah blah. So the Conservatives voiced concern. The Conservatives and hardline members of the Politburo have voiced their concerns over Rutskoy's apparent endorsement of the Eurasian movement. The Eurasia speech, as has been dubbed by certain analysts, was delivered to the Congress with great fervor on the part of Comrade Rutskoy, who believes that this movement will save the Soviet Union. His description of the economy as disastrous and the political system as disgustingly corrupt came as a shock to many, both within and outside the Soviet Union. Who asked for their opinion? Yes, that is the very Soviet way of saying things. Rutskoy's coup. So, of course, Chairman Rutskoy will overthrow the Politburo and his opponents, taking down the opposition to the rising Eurasia movement. At the end of the day, he will have ultimate power. So, of course, now we can also change our economy laws and blah blah, because we have enough polypower from all that's been happening. I don't think we're going to do that quite yet. Just going to be waiting until we've shuffled things around a little bit more, because, yeah, oh my god, It's Vladimir Zhirinovsky. Vladimir Zhirinovsky. Insano. Yeah, these are the cabinet positions in Red World. Look a little bit weird sometimes. Alexander Pachinok, Frugal Faction. That's really, really good. Plus 50% political power. I feel like he's gonna be the first person that we put on the cabinet, because plus 50%, like holy shit. That's double the veteran difficulty negative modifier, and that minus 25% is normally like ridiculous. So we're also doing exercises so that we have extra army experience for later, and I'm gonna show you when my army and how my army is gonna be transformed. So yeah, I'll see you then. Early this morning, Chairman Rutskoy decided to retreat to his personal home in Belarus without informing the Politburo or any of the ministers. This immediately worried the highest administrative bodies, who were expecting a regular Moscow day. These worries were worsened when several high military commands around the Soviet Union cut off communication with the Politburo, while simultaneously troops in Moscow and Leningrad began to leave their barracks. Suddenly, as the true nature of the situation struck the Communist Party too late, the army was marching towards the Kremlin to arrest the entire government in the name of Chairman Rutskoy. Party leaders in all major cities were thrown in jail, and Rutskoy's allies started to converge in the capital, finally confirming the Politburo's suspicion that the chairman was indeed behind this treason. Just an hour later, Alexander returned and announced the end of the Communist Party, pledging his support for the Eurasian movement. And you'll see next time which of these three I will have chosen: the loyal faction, the nationalist type of government, monarchists, or national Bolsheviks. See you soon.